The roar of the Pride Parade in downtown San Francisco drowned out everything as I, Garrett Thompson, navigated the sea of rainbow flags and cheering crowds, my heart pounding not from excitement but from the secret I carried like a lead weight. Suddenly, a strong hand grabbed my wrist, yanking me into a narrow alley away from the throng. It was Jake, my hidden lover of 6 months, his eyes wild with determination. Before I could protest, he dropped to one knee, pulling out a ring, and asked me to marry him right there, shattering the fragile facade I'd built around my life. I froze, the world narrowing to the glint of that silver band in his palm. Jake's face was a mix of hope and defiance, his usual easy smile replaced by something raw and urgent. "Garrett, we've hidden long enough," he whispered, his voice cutting through the distant chants of "love is love." But all I could think about was my family back in conservative suburban Virginia, where Dad's church sermons railed against the gay agenda, and Mom's whispered prayers begged God to keep her son straight. We'd met at a tech conference in Seattle last year, both software engineers bonding over late-night coding sessions. Jake was out and proud with a rainbow pin on his laptop bag, while I was the closeted golden boy, top of my class at MIT, now working at a Silicon Valley startup. Our fling started innocently, a shared coffee, then dinners, then stolen kisses in hotel rooms. But Jake wanted more. He wanted us public, real. I wasn't ready. Hell, I didn't know if I'd ever be. "Get up," I hissed, glancing over my shoulder at the parade spilling color onto the street. Someone might see. Jake's expression hardened, but he stood, slipping the ring back into his pocket. "That's the point, Garrett. I'm tired of being your dirty secret." His words stung like a slap, and I felt the first crack in the armor I'd worn for years. We argued in hushed tones, the alley's graffiti-covered walls closing in like judges. He accused me of cowardice. I countered with reality. My job, my family, the world that wasn't as accepting as this parade pretended. By the time we emerged, the moment hung between us like a storm cloud. Jake melted back into the crowd, leaving me alone with my thoughts. That night, in my sterile apartment overlooking the bay, I replayed it all. Proposing in an alley? It was impulsive, romantic in a movie way, but reckless. What if a colleague had seen? My boss, Mr. Hargrove, was old school. Rumors could tank my promotion. And my brother, Mike, the Marine. He'd disown me faster than you could say, family values. The next day at work, I buried myself in code, but Jake's texts burned a hole in my phone. "We need to talk." I ignored them, focusing on the algorithm that could land me a lead position. But guilt gnawed at me. Jake wasn't just a hookup. He was the first person who'd made me feel seen, not just for my brains but for my soul. Yet, every time I imagined coming out, I saw Dad's face crumpling, Mom's tears, the church congregation whispering. Weeks passed in a tense limbo. Jake and I met in secret spots, coffee shops in Oakland, hikes in the hills where no one knew us. Each time, the proposal lingered unspoken, a ghost in the room. "I love you," he'd say, and I'd echo it, but with a caveat in my heart. Not enough to risk everything. Then came the bombshell. Jake got an offer from a New York firm, a dream job in AI ethics. "I'm taking it," he told me over dim sum in Chinatown. "Unless you give me a reason to stay." My stomach dropped. Stay? That meant committing, outing myself, facing the fallout. I stammered excuses about career stability, but he saw through it. "It's not about the job, Garrett. It's about us." He left the restaurant first, his shoulders slumped in defeat. I sat there, picking at cold dumplings, realizing I just pushed away the best thing in my life. But was it? Or was it self-preservation? Back home, I called Mom, her voice warm over the line from Virginia. "How's California treating you, honey?" I lied about work, about being happy. She prattled on about Dad's latest sermon on traditional marriage, and I felt like a fraud. Hanging up, I scrolled through photos of Jake and me, laughing at a ferry ride, coding side by side. Deleting them felt like erasing part of myself. The decision crystallized that night. I couldn't lose him. I booked a flight to New York, planning to surprise him to say yes. But as the plane taxied down the runway, doubt crept in. What if he said no now? What if I'd waited too long? Landing in JFK, the city buzzed with energy, but I felt hollow. I texted him, "I'm here. Can we talk?" His reply was swift. "Meet me at Central Park, Bethesda Fountain." He was there, looking tired but handsome in his peacoat. "What are you doing here?" he asked, wary. I pulled out the ring. I'd found it in his apartment before he left. A desperate act. "Jake, I was wrong. Marry me." His eyes widened, then filled with tears. We embraced, the fountain's spray misting around us like confetti. For a moment it was perfect, but perfection cracked fast. Jake pulled back. "Garrett, this isn't just about us. You have to tell your family." The weight returned. I nodded, promising I would. We spent the weekend in his new Brooklyn walk-up, planning a future, wedding in the Catskills, joint projects in AI. Yet, every call home was a lie omitted. Returning to San Francisco, the high faded. Dad's birthday was coming up. A family reunion in Virginia. "Bring a girl," Mom joked. I laughed it off, but it ate at me. Jake pushed. "Tell them before the trip." I delayed, citing timing. Arguments escalated. Phone calls ending in silence. Texts unread. Finally, the night before my flight, I video called my parents. "Mom, Dad, I have something to say." The words stuck. Dad's face expectant. Mom's smile. "I'm gay," I blurted. Silence. Then Dad's voice. Cold. "What?" I explained about Jake, the proposal. Mom cried. Dad hung up. The reunion was canceled, for me. Mike called later. Furious. "You're destroying the family." I flew home anyway, showing up uninvited. The door opened to stony faces. Dinner was tense, arguments flying. Dad quoted Bible verses. I countered with love. Mom mediated, torn. By night's end, Dad stormed out. Mom hugged me tearfully. "Give him time," she whispered. Back in California, Jake was supportive, but the strain showed. "Your family's rejection. It's hurting you," he said. It was. Work suffered. I missed deadlines, lost the promotion. Friends noticed my distraction. One, Sarah, a colleague, confronted me. "What's going on?" I came out to her, relief washing over me. She hugged me. "Proud of you." But the costs mounted. Dad cut off contact. Mike blocked me. Jake's family, accepting liberals from Oregon, welcomed me, but it highlighted my loss. We moved in together in San Francisco, a cozy apartment in the Castro. Life normalized, dates, friends, pride events openly. Yet shadows lingered. Then betrayal struck. Jake's ex, Tyler, reappeared, an old flame from college. I found texts. "Missed you at the conference." Innocent, Jake claimed, but doubt seeded. One night, after a fight about my lingering family grief, Jake didn't come home. He confessed. A kiss with Tyler, just emotional. The world shattered again. "How could you?" I yelled. He begged forgiveness, citing my indecision as pressure. We separated, me crashing with Sarah. Weeks of therapy, self-reflection. Was I to blame? Had my hesitation driven him away? Reconciliation came slowly. Jake cut off Tyler, we rebuilt trust. But scars remained. My family thawed. Mom called occasionally. Dad sent a stiff birthday card. Mike remained distant. Years later, at our wedding small in Golden Gate Park. Mom attended, Dad didn't. Vows exchanged, rings on fingers. Happiness, but tempered by absences. Looking back, every choice had a price. Hiding cost love, outing cost family, forgiveness cost pride. Was it worth it? The wedding high lasted months, Jake and I navigating married life in the vibrant chaos of San Francisco. Mornings started with coffee in our sunlit kitchen, discussions about code and dreams. But beneath the domestic bliss, fissures from the past widened. My family's partial acceptance felt like a band-aid on a bullet wound. Mom's calls were polite but probing. "How's Jake doing?" she'd ask, her tone laced with unspoken judgment. At work, the lost promotion stung less as I threw myself into a new project, an app for LGBTQ plus mental health resources. It was cathartic, channeling my turmoil into something positive. Jake supported it, even contributing ideas from his AI ethics background. Yet, his betrayal with Tyler haunted quiet moments. I catch myself checking his phone, trust eroded like beach sand. Then came the curveball: Dad had a heart attack. Mom's frantic call pulled me back to Virginia. "Come home, Garrett. He needs you." Jake offered to join, but I hesitated. Dad's last words to me were, "Don't bring that lifestyle here." I went alone, the flight a gauntlet of memories. Arriving at the hospital, the sterile halls echoed my isolation. Dad looked frail in the bed, tubes snaking around him. "Son," he rasped, eyes avoiding mine. Mom hovered, urging reconciliation. We talked haltingly about childhood, not the elephant in the room. But as I left, he grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry for pushing you away." Tears stung. Was this progress or pity? Back home, Jake was distant. "You should have let me come," he said. Argument ensued. My fear versus his need to be included. It escalated, old wounds reopening. "You're still ashamed of us," he accused. I denied it, but doubt lingered. Work provided escape, the app gaining traction. Investors circled, praising its impact. But success bred envy. A colleague, Brian, outed himself as homophobic in subtle ways, snide comments during meetings. When I confronted him, he retaliated by sabotaging my code, framing it as an error. The project delayed, my reputation tarnished. Jake's job hit turbulence too. His firm faced backlash for an AI tool accused of bias against queer users. Protests outside their office, Jake in the crossfire. He came home exhausted, questioning his ethics. "Did I sell out?" he'd ask. I reassured him, but our support felt strained. Then Mike re-entered the picture. A surprise visit to San Francisco, Marine uniform crisp. "We need to talk," he said at our door. Jake excused himself, tension thick. Mike apologized stiffly. "I was wrong to cut you off, but conditions attached. Just don't flaunt it." Anger flared. "Flaunt? This is my life." He left, bridge half built. The strain peaked at a pride event. Jake wanted to march. I balked, citing work stress. "You're regressing," he snapped. Alone that night, I reflected on choices. Marrying Jake cost family harmony. Forgiving him cost self-respect. Was love enough? Therapy helped. Our counselor unpacked layers. My internalized homophobia, Jake's impulsivity. We recommitted, planning a trip to Oregon to meet his family again. Their acceptance flowed freely, contrasting my losses. Jake's mom hugged me. "You're family now." But returning, reality bit. Dad's health declined. Mom begged me home. Jake insisted on coming. At the airport, nerves jangled. Dad's house loomed, a bastion of old values. Introductions awkward. "This is Jake, my husband." Dad nodded curtly. Mom forced a smile. Dinner was a minefield. Talk veered to politics. Dad's views on gay marriage unchanged. Jake defended eloquently. Dad retreated. Later, in the guest room, Jake whispered, "That was brave, but bravery cost." Dad's cold shoulder deepened. Months later, the app launched successfully, garnering media attention. Interviews probed my story, coming out, marriage, family rift. Publicity brought hate mail, but also support. Jake stood by, our bond strengthening. Yet, a new betrayal loomed. Jake's work scandal escalated. He was scapegoated, fired. Bitter, he blamed me indirectly. If we'd stayed hidden, maybe I'd have played it safe. Words cut deep, echoing my fears. We separated again, this time for space. I threw myself into advocacy, speaking at events. Solitude forced introspection. Had I chosen wrong? Reuniting with Jake felt inevitable. But at what price? Reconciliation with Jake came after weeks of soul-searching. We met at our old alley spot from the proposal, now a symbol of beginnings. I can't lose you, I said. He agreed, vowing transparency. We moved forward, but warily, like walking on cracked ice. Dad's condition worsened. Another hospital stay. This time, Jake came without question. In Virginia, tensions simmered. Mike was there, defensive. Why bring him? He muttered. Jake held his ground, helping with errands, winning Mom over. Dad, weakened, softened. Thank you for being here. A breakthrough, fragile as glass. Back in California, professional highs contrasted personal lows. My app won awards, leading to a TED Talk invite. Preparing, I delved into my story, the alley proposal as a turning point. Jake encouraged, but envy flickered in his eyes, unemployed and searching. He landed a gig at a nonprofit, advocating for queer rights in tech. Suited him, reigniting passion. But activism brought risks. Protests turned violent. Jake arrested briefly for civil disobedience. Bailing him out. Fear gripped me. You could have been hurt. He shrugged. Some fights are worth it. Family dynamics shifted. Mom visited San Francisco her first time. We toured, avoiding heavy topics. At dinner, she confessed, "Your father misses you." Tears flowed. She hugged Jake. Progress, but Dad remained distant. Then, a moral quandary. My company offered a contract with a conservative firm known for anti-LGBTQ+ stances. Big money, career boost. Jake urged rejection. It's blood money. I wavered, seeing stability. Accepting it secretly, guilt consumed me. When Jake found out, fury erupted. You're compromising everything we stand for. The fight was brutal, accusations flying. You're no better than your family, he spat. I defended. We need the money. But it felt wrong. I backed out, costing the deal, straining work relations. Retaliation came swift. Lawsuit threats from the firm. Smears online. My app's users boycotted briefly, mistaking my involvement. Reputation in tatters, I questioned every decision. Jake's activism intensified, pulling him away. Late nights, secretive meetings. Suspicion grew. Was there another Tyler? Confronting him, he admitted emotional closeness with a colleague, Ben. Nothing physical, he swore. Trust fractured again. Therapy resumed, unpacking patterns. My fear of abandonment, his need for validation. We committed to change, but damage lingered. A family crisis forced unity. Dad's final days, we rushed to Virginia. Bedside, he whispered regrets. I was wrong, son. Love who you love. Forgiveness came, bittersweet. Funeral united us. Mike's arm around me, Jake by my side. Grief bonded but also exposed rifts. Back home, Jake proposed renewal vows. To start fresh. I agreed, but doubt whispered. The ceremony was intimate, friends witnessing. Vows renewed hope. Yet, society's pressures mounted, anti-gay legislation in states, reminding us of fragility. Work rebounded. I started a foundation for queer youth. Jake joined, our passions aligning. But a shocking revelation. Mike came out as bi, seeking advice. I was projecting, he admitted. Family healed, slowly. Still, personal costs tallied. Jake's arrest record hindered jobs. My public story invited scrutiny. Was the alley proposal the catalyst for growth or destruction? With Dad gone, Mom moved to California, seeking closeness. Her presence was a mixed blessing, supportive, but her old views surfaced in subtle ways. Have you thought about kids? She'd ask, implying traditional paths. Jake bristled. I mediated. Our foundation thrived, hosting events for at-risk queer teens. One boy, Lucas, reminded me of young Garrett, closeted, scared. Mentoring him, I relived my struggles. Jake connected too, sharing his out journey. But success attracted enemies. A conservative group targeted us, doxing online, threats arriving. Police involved, but fear permeated. Is this worth it? I asked Jake one night, windows barred. He nodded. Absolutely. Personal betrayal reared again. Ben, Jake's colleague, confessed feelings to me privately. Jake talks about you constantly, but I see the cracks. Tempted? No, but it's so discord. Telling Jake, he confronted Ben, ending their friendship. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He accused. Trust teetered. Mom's health scare, a fall pulled focus. Hospital vigils, Jake by her side. She warmed to him fully. You're good for my boy. Recovery strengthened bonds. Mike visited, now open about his sexuality. Double dates ensued, laughter replacing tension. Yet, his military career suffered from outing demotion whispers. Your fault, he joked darkly. Guilt weighed. A major decision loomed. Adopt? Jake pushed. I hesitated, fearing instability. Debates intense. We're ready, he said. Or are you still hiding? Application started, home studies probing our past, betrayals, separations. Vulnerable, we persevered. Society's backlash intensified. A bill in Congress threatened rights. We lobbied in D.C. protests, arrests. Jake again. Bailing him, anger boiled. You're reckless. He countered. You're complacent. Separation loomed, but Lucas's crisis intervened. Suicidal, we intervened, saving him. It unified us. This is why we fight. Adoption approved. A baby boy, Ethan. Joy overwhelming, but exhaustion followed. Sleepless nights tested marriage. Jake's activism waned, prioritizing family. Yet, a final twist. Anonymous emails exposed Jake's past fling with Tyler to our donors. Funding dried. Foundation faltered. Who? We wondered. Investigation pointed to Brian, my old colleague, revenge. Confronting him, truth spilled. You ruined my career. Lawsuit ensued, draining resources. Victory came, but Pyrrhic reputation scarred. Through it, we clung. Ethan's first steps, smiles healing wounds. Mom babysat, Mike Uncle D. Family redefined. But questions persisted. Had choices led to fulfillment or regret? The alley moment, a spark igniting a fire that burned and warmed. Parenthood transformed us. Ethan became our world, his giggles erasing shadows. Jake quit activism for stability, taking a teaching job at a community college. I scaled back the foundation, focusing on sustainable impact. Mom integrated fully, moving nearby. Grandma duties, she beamed. Mike relocated to the Bay Area, starting a security firm. Family dinners became routine, stories shared without filters. But past ghosts haunted. A documentary on queer rights featured our story, the alley proposal romanticized. Publicity brought acclaim, but also trolls. Ethan's school faced backlash. We switched to progressive one. Moral dilemmas arose. A teen at the foundation accused a staffer of impropriety. Investigation cleared, but doubt lingered. Jake wanted firing. I advocated caution. Rift grew. You're too forgiving, he said, echoing my past leniency with him. Argument culminated in him storming out. Days of silence, then apology. But patterns repeated. A shocking call. Tyler resurfaced, apologizing. I was wrong. Jake met him for closure. I trusted, but anxiety spiked. Return home, he was distant. It stirred old feelings. Honesty hurt, but strengthened. Society evolved. Rights advanced, but setbacks loomed. A Supreme Court case threatened marriages. We rallied, Ethan in tow. For his future, Jake said. Personal growth. I wrote a book on my journey, bestseller. Royalties secured Ethan's college. Jake published papers on ethical AI, regaining respect. Yet, a betrayal from within. Mom confessed voting against gay rights in the past. I was wrong. Forgiveness came hard, but necessary. Mike's engagement to a man celebration. Our family, once fractured, now mosaic. Challenges persisted. Ethan's questions, why two daddies? Explanations built resilience. High point, 10th anniversary. Renewal in the alley, now a landmark. Rings exchanged, promises renewed. But low followed. Jake's health scare, cancer scare, false alarm. Fear united. Reflecting every decision's price. Love over secrecy cost isolation. Forgiveness over grudges cost pain. Activism over safety cost security. Was the initial shock in that alley the best thing that ever happened? Years blurred into a tapestry of triumphs and trials. Ethan grew into a confident teen, out and proud, inspired by our story. The foundation expanded nationwide, impacting thousands. Jake and I, graying but strong, mentored young couples. Family complete. Mom's 90th birthday bash. Mike's kids playing with Ethan. Laughter echoed. Past pains faded scars. But society regressed in pockets, hate crimes rising. A personal attack. Our home vandalized, slurs spray-painted. Police dismissive, we fortified but paranoia set in. Moral crossroads. Ethan wanted to protest. We forbade, fearing danger. Hypocrites, he accused. Debate raged, echoing our youth. Jake's temptation. A job offer abroad. Escape. Start over. I refused. This is home. Strain returned. Ultimate betrayal. A hidden affair revealed. Jake with a younger activist. Devastated, I confronted. It was escape, he sobbed. Divorce loomed. Therapy, separation. Ethan shuttled between. Reflection. Had I ignored signs? Reconciliation attempt failed. We parted amicably, co-parenting. Alone, I rebuilt. Dating cautiously, foundation my anchor. Jake thrived in New York. Remarrying. Looking back, the alley proposal sparked a life of love, loss, growth. Family reconciled fully post-divorce. Mike mediated. Ethan's wedding, both dads walking him down aisle. Bittersweet. In the end, choices defined us. Hiding versus revealing. Forgiving versus holding grudges. Fighting versus fleeing. Was Garrett's decision to say yes in that alley ultimately right, or should he have walked away to spare the pain?